good evening and welcome to Spotlight. My name is Nwang Falong. Today we are speaking with a woman who has functioned in various capacities. For over 12 years, she was an assemblywoman and then she became the Member of Parliament for Walewale. She is presently being vetted as the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. This woman is also a trained teacher. We are speaking with Hajia Lariba Abudu. Hajia, you're also known as Hajia 1. I forgot that part. Hajia 1.
Hajia 1, yeah.
Welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you for having me. I'm most grateful, actually.
We are also grateful for your time. You've been in Parliament for some 6 months. What has been the experience?
Thank you. Parliament has been lovely. So stressful, but lovely. 6 months in Parliament, I've gained some experience. That and there are things that when I was not a parliamentarian, I thought they were in Parliament. But being in Parliament maybe tells me that things are not done that way. There's law and order in Parliament. It's different from the principal play. So I'm just happy to be part of the 8th Parliament.
That's a good thing. And now the 8th Parliament we see is very closely contested between both parties. How is the relationship between both parties in Parliament?
We disagree to agree in Parliament. You can trust. We are good friends. When it comes to some policies that they don't understand, we have to make sure that we let them understand what actually it is. So after that, I think if you have been here, you have been seeing us the way we live. We have cordial relationship. You know, you go to the other side, you try to talk to them, they come to you, they talk to you. We are best of friends in Parliament. You know, this is what I said. Outside, you may think that they are enemies. Friction. No. But when you come in, you need each other to...
At the end of the day, the goal is the same.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you need each other to make governments run. Without that, you know, there should be check and balances in governance. You know, so definitely they have to check you people. And you also have to do what is right. So that at the end of the day, everybody benefits. Yeah, the country benefits. So it's cool.
Honorable, you are recently vetted for the position of Deputy Minister for the Gender Ministry, also Children and Social Protection.
Yeah.
What was the highlight for you during your vetting?
I'm happy that President has seen the need to appoint me to this position. During the vetting, there were a lot of questions, especially the one that touched my heart was the witchcraft in my region.
Accusations?
Yes, accusation of witchcraft. That the chairman himself asked that question. So that was very touching because women in particular are being alleged they are witches. You know, and the sad thing is you don't become a witch at your prime age.
Yeah,
when you are not too much, even if it is there, not too much. But at an age that you are taking your rest, now then people allege that you are a witch. And then I gave the answer, and later a lot of people calling me, why did I say that? Women suffer menopausal syndromes. I will emphasize on that.
You think it contributes?
I think to me it's one of the major challenges. It's what we haven't told the world, the society that we are living in, that women at a certain age in life, even men at a certain age, but it's predominantly in women.
Midlife crisis.
Yes, you know, so your hormonal changes in your body, so you behave abnormally. You know, some actually behave like they are mentally drilled, but in earnest, it's menopausal syndromes. So because we don't know some of this, or because the education doesn't sink well, we don't have regular education on these issues. a lot of women, at some of them you may ask them, they say you're a witch. Yes. You know, she said yes, she's a witch. Why are you a witch? She doesn't even understand why they are accusing of being a witchcraft. Because somebody sleeps and dreams that I've seen a spotlight armor in my dream trying to catch me or trying to jump on me. You know, then unfortunate or whatever, Amma is sick the next day. Then they say, oh, it's because of that she's been, so the fellow is a witch. You know. So to me, we need to intensify the education of the menopausal syndrome in our hospitals. You know, I think there should be I will talk with my minister, and we will collaborate with the Minister of Health and see whether there will be a small sector in the health side where they would deal with that age range, where when women get to that, they will go for counseling, you know,
some psychological
support. That's where they will go for counseling. That's where you refer them back for somebody to talk to them, you know, so that people will go. If we have something like that, like people go for antenatal and they are being told what to do during this period of time. Someone say you do this, you know. So if we have something like that, where if I'm experiencing hot flash, when I go to complain to a doctor that I'm feeling this strange hot flash, they will refer me there. Then they will now tell me what it is, what I should experience, what I should look out for, what I should take to, you know, there are certain medications that, supplements in particular, that you take to, doctors can tell you what to do.
Some of these remote areas, they don't even have, they don't go to the hospital.
No. At that age, you see, to you, it's a strange thing in your body. So you are thinking that somebody might have been spiritually doing something. I've heard a lot of colleagues complain. You know, somebody say, I can't even go into sun. She has to run back into the shade. You see, then at a point she was like, somebody was trying to do something to me spiritually, you know, until we have to find a doctor to counsel her and say, look, because her hair was, anytime she was combing her hair, she would bring out a lot of the hair out. Then at a point she lost appetite, you know, sex was a problem with her husband, and there were issues. And so, but she didn't want to believe it was a menopause. You know, then it was like sister-in-law or something was.
It's interesting. The symptoms are different for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. Some even don't have experience. I can say I didn't even have any. Yeah. So some don't even go through those changes. They are normal. So we need to do something about it. We'll look at it. Yeah. Since my ministry have the prerogative rights to look at this witchcrafting, we'll see how we can talk to health.
The people in the locality themselves, because I mean we can educate the victims.
Oh sure.
But what about the people that are accusing them, who have more power? You know, recently we had the case of Zekria Dente, who was stoned to death.
Yes. Look at her age.
Yes.
90 something.
There were witnesses to this. They were standing there. Nobody tried to intervene. All these people probably also believe in this, you know, these accusations. How can we target those ones to and enlighten them?
We have to do a lot of sensitization in the communities that we live. Let's talk to opinion leaders on it. Let's educate our Sambal men. They are living with these people. They can be of great offer to talk to the people. Gender ministry can also do something. We can also reach out to communities and then sensitize a lot of people. During debates, we can
talk about.
We can give
Make
a talk,
constant conversation.
You know, when you keep talking to people about these symptoms, you know, some of them may change actually. And then the laws, we have to look at the law. The law should be very strict on some of these things, you know, and the law should be very open, so that from the beginning, normally this it doesn't start one day. It starts so many times because you are that, so that I can go and report. Somebody from the one is saying that I'm ABC, you know, so that the law can invite them and then look, if you do that, you'll be fined or you'll be sent to prison this number of years, or even you also face something, you know, there should be some laws that will protect these people. And then where they can seek early interventions. Normally they will leave it till it becomes too much. That's what you are saying. At a point, everybody believes that it's true. You know, somebody accuse you, then the fellow is dead. The following day, somebody is dead in that family. So now it's like what they are saying is true. Everybody, and then within the community, believes that what they are saying is true. So, but if there's a place that the first accused, I can go and report, then a lot of people would go and report, and a lot of these damages can be controlled.
And the police stations even close to them.
A police station close to them. And even they can report to the assemblyman so that he can lead them to go in. Some of them is just how to get access to police, how to go and lay your story, you know, it's a problem. And then family issues like you have accused. Normally it's within the family. It doesn't go out. You see, it's within the family cycle.
And then it becomes a big.
It becomes a big. Outsiders just jumped in because you have brought your relation out. Yeah, you have brought your aunties, you have brought your grandmother out. So why won't you help me? Because already I also lost somebody in my house. Maybe she was the one. You see, so and then we can do family education. Yeah, those I think family education was there. So we can do something like that. NCC can also come in to help in this direction. Yeah.
Hajia, there's the Gambaga witches camp, very close to Walewale. Should we close it down? A lot of people think we should close it down. It's out, you know, maybe there have been so many interventions, but there's one way to ensure that it just goes away. We don't even have this camp to even refer to. What do we do with the camp?
Thank you so much. For now, I wouldn't say we should close it down because that's where a lot of them go to seek shelter. I have been there, and if you interact with the women there, most of them don't want to go back home because some of them told me that I would like to go, but the one who accused me in a witch should come and tell me that he will want to send me back home. He should come and take me back. What about if I go because he hasn't accepted that I'm not, and he's still there? So what about if I go and he kills me? You know, and the tendency of she going back to be lynched is there. So it's better she stays here. And let me tell you, people help them a lot in those camps. Even their own family. Some of them, their children bring them foodstuffs. You know, they have families. I had an auntie who was there. Then I went there. I didn't want to believe. So I went there. I didn't even tell anybody in my family. And I visited her. And I have to send clothing to her. I have to give her money and all those things. Then I asked her, will you like to go back? Then she said, have you spoken to those who have accused me of being a witch? I said, no. So how do I go? Because one, you are in Tamale. If you send me back and leave and they kill me, who has killed me? And she has a point. So I said, no. Okay, then I'll go back and then see how I can talk to them. And then she was married with 4 kids. So I called the children. What do we do to bring your mother back? And they said, at this point, it looked like our father too is supporting that she's one. Because already he has about 2-3 wives. So if one goes, he still have wives. You know, so hold on. I'm trying to get my own house. So if I move from the family house, then that I can bring her to stay with me. And it was quite understandable, so I left it.
It's also a matter of safe spacing.
Safe spacing, you know. So unfortunately, she died. The boy actually went and brought her, and she died a year staying with him, and that ended the whole story. Yeah, so it's a long process. It's not only sending them back to the community, but are they ready to take them back? That's one thing we need to talk to them. Try to counsel, try to let them know that this thing, my father used to tell me, don't say it doesn't exist, because you can tell, you know, and much I don't know, I don't have that spiritual power to know somebody's a witch or not, but I was telling somebody that I don't want to raise a controversy.
Yeah.
You know, fine. If they say there's witchcraft, that me and you may not know, but elsewhere, I have seen some movies and what they say they have formed associations, you know, and they are doing good things. So where we are now, is it not high time we also say, okay, well, if it is true that it exists, why can't we, or somebody to come and say, okay, we are putting ourselves in a very good situation, and then we are doing good things? Because it shouldn't be attributed only to bad things. We should also see if it's true to doing good things. I hope you understand.
I understand.
So there were times that my goods got locked in Dubai. Then I'll say, oh, if there's witchcraft, I could have just gone bring my goods in and then evade the tax.
Disappear.
You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it is true, those who claim, those who have the powers and they can see, why can't we engage them and see whether it's true that it exists? Fine, but if can we use it to do good things? If we can, so let's see, what good thing can you do? I hope you understand. Because it's all about poverty. I hope you get me.
I think poverty is a key.
That is it. So if it is poverty and I can use it to get money, why should I go and be killing somebody because of I begged money or I begged some cloth and the fellow hasn't given? Because normally the excuse is a very flimsy excuse. Why should my rival child go to abroad or something? That's why I'm killing.
But Hajia, have you ever seen a rich person being accused of witchcraft?
That's my problem. So if it is true that I have it and I can use it to do rich, maybe they don't know that they can use it to get money out of it or do something that will benefit them. So we need to educate somebody. Should lead the discussion. Somebody should lead the research. Let's see whether if it is true it exists. So can't we also use it to do good things? And if we can do that, somebody should form an association with them and let them know that it's not only that we can use it to do bad to kill people, but we can use it to do a lot of things. Even now, we have been confronted with COVID. Can't they have certain medications that will help us to solve it? Can you imagine the whole country? If we can use the powers to give some what is it, herbs or something that will let people recover from COVID.
Oh,
can you imagine the money that they would have made more than Bill Gates? Easy. So,
Hajia, still on the issue of women. We don't have many women in parliament. This is a conversation that has gone on for years. And we're still not breaking even. If you look at even the appointments of ministers, we see that just in total about 20% of women, 80% to men. If we are dealing with so many gender-based issues, like we just discussed witchcraft, and we don't have enough female representation at the tables that make the right decisions, how can we tackle the issues of women?
Thank you. Very sad situation that we have in our hands. If you come to Parliament, it's 40 women.
Exactly.
By God divine, 2020. 20 from each side. Yeah, and compare the numbers to the male counterpart that we have. 40 out of 175. So we have 135 being 235 being men. That's serious, actually. It's very serious. The affirmative action bill that my minister is working hard to get it passed would solve some of these problems.
Hajia, is the ministry working hard to pass?
Oh, sure, very soon. She's serious. Since she took over, she's not sleeping on it. She's working very hard so that very soon it will be passed.
How soon is it?
Immediately she gets approval from cabinet, they will relay it, and then I hope.
So how long are we looking at? 2 months, 3, 6, 1 year? When is affirmative
I don't
action?
want to speculate the timelines, but as soon as possible. She's actually, she made a firm conviction during her vetting that she will try to make it pass. And I know this time our men counterpart will support us. They have to support. But if it comes to voting, we alone, yes. So the men have to support to actually, because most of them too have female daughters coming up, so that if it is being passed, it's not only for parliamentary issues. At least a lot of women could be given positions in most of our organizations, our institutions. You see, where if we have 100 workers, staff, then at least, even if 50 are women.
That's the right thing.
But that's the thing, that even that will eliminate a lot of corruptions. If you see a woman who is corrupt, maybe.
There's been a lot of research on it, on the transparency that women bring to governance.
Yeah, that is it. You know, we don't seek for too much. You know, so if you have a lot of women in your institution, it works very good. So the affirmative action bill will come and then will solve some of these problems. And I would like to...
Hajia, are you making a firm commitment to the people of Ghana that you and the minister are committed to ensuring that the affirmative action bill is passed, at least during your time in office?
We will pass it very soon. My minister... Oh, yeah, sure. My minister would like to leave that legacy, that during her tenure that the affirmative action bill was passed. And then I know she will do that. And then we are not only targeting just women, but quality women. You know, women that they themselves, you know, aspire to lead. You know, because if you say women, just not bring any other woman.
Sometimes a lot of women have the abilities to lead, but you see there are also a lot of social distractions, religious distractions that pull them back. You're an MP. I'm sure you went through a lot before you became a member of parliament.
I did. Yeah, but women shouldn't let those things deter them from coming up. You know, if you come out and people see the potential, they will push you. Some men will actually push you to go. But if you don't come out, if you don't come out and then you are in your shell, nobody will identify your potentials. And that's
show themselves.
No, that's why it's difficult to at times get even women to fill in certain vacancies, because at times you want some caliber of women, and then it's difficult to find. But in Ghana here, we are very fortunate. We have a lot of seasoned women, you know, who are very educated. They have educated themselves to some level that wherever you put them, they can perform. You know, so when we get the affirmative action, at least, you know, we'll get there. Because elsewhere they have been able to do it. You know, Rwanda, for instance, is 50-50. You know,
that's the ideal.
Yes, there's the ideal. And that's why they have a very good system.
And when you come to Ghana, you see that we have some 52% of the population who are women.
Yes.
So if you're developing without half of your population, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Walewale constituency, during the assembly elections, we have about 3-4 women who stood. But it looked like none of them were able to do it. And then I want us to look at the assembly elections. How do we get women? Because I started from that place, a lot of women to represent their communities. So this affirmative action bill, we can also look at that, the percentage-wise, you know. So if we are giving some percentage to government appointees, this number of percentage should be women. You see, any woman who tries to run for assembly elections and maybe fail should be co-opted into the assembly system. She gains experience. She now knows, she can come back again. And then from there, she can go. It's not easy, actually, but nothing in life is easy. Unless you don't want to grow anything at all. Even what you have chosen to do, media fraternity, it also have its own problems. You know, so life itself is not all that easy. What is easy? There's nothing that is easy. But it depends on your experience, your knowledge about it, how you go around it. That makes it easy for you to come. So,
Hajia, let me move into, still within your office.
Yeah.
The children. When you go onto Ghana streets, there's so many children who are begging. Some of these children, we've had research, documentaries. I remember even Anas Arimio Anas released an investigative piece on these children. Some of them are being trafficked. Some of them are being used by, they are not begging for the money for themselves. There are older people who are pushing them, using them as pawns. At the end of the day, they give the money to these people. How can we get these children off the streets? Put them into a more formal system, at least to take advantage of. Now we have free SHS, they can at least push themselves to that point, be educated. Because down the line, years from now, these neglected children will become menaces to society. They become, most of them, armed robbers, helping crime to fester, and then it comes back to affect all of us. How can we take them off?
Thank you. Armed robbers, I don't know. I don't want to go there, but some of them actually, yeah. You see, the society itself encourages some of these things. We, those who give them money. Because why should you give a child at the age of 5, 6 begging? You see, if we stop doing that, they will stop coming on the street.
Stop feeding the public.
Yes, those bringing them to come and beg won't bring them. Maybe they will come and do it themselves. So that's one aspect of it. Why do we give them at that age? He needs the money to do what we did. So you should know that somebody is pushing him to do that. So we ourselves, we the society, should desist from doing that. If we stop, me for instance, I don't give those children money. I'll ask you, why are you not in school at that time? Because free education. Every child should be in school. So why is it this child is not in school? So don't give him money. You know, so that when we do that, they will stop. But if we continue to give them, it's a lucrative way to get money. So who doesn't want money? If I know, if I go on the street and an uncle of a friend who is a landlord of his own in a Obuasi area, he has his business doing. Then one day, his own cousin saw him begging on the street. He said, is it my uncle? So later on, he called and said, why are you doing? There's money than what the business is doing. Yes.
So he's taking advantage.
Yes. So we should look at it careful. The way we give monies to people. You know, don't give a small child money. The child comes stand by your car, then you give him money. So you're telling they won't go to school, they'll always be there to beg for money. So we should desist from giving those children money. That's one. And then our system, parental breakdowns in our homes, single parenthood, and most of them are not Ghanaians. They are coming from elsewhere. Do a
Yes,
very good,
there are
yeah.
a lot of
That is it.
North African
Yes.
children.
So why do we allow them to come into our country and be begging in our country? The law should look at it. The security should look at it. Minister of Interior should take up this matter. They can deal with it more than we always come in to look at the welfare of them. If Minister of Interior, we'll collaborate with them anyway. When I get there, my minister will definitely collaborate with Minister of Interior. So that if they take them off the street, we can provide the shelter and to make them come and send them back wherever they are coming out.
It's a collaborative
It's a collaborative effort. You can't do it alone. No ministry can do it. You need to collaborate. You take this and I will take this. So we join together, and before you realize, we are solving the problem. So one, the society too should be part of it. We shouldn't give these kids money. It's not good. That's one. Some genuinely have a case. You follow some of them, genuinely, they have even lost both parents. I have a girl that was brought to me in tears. After JSS, she was to go and do Kayai. So I sent somebody to the community, and then he came with the girl. And I said, where from this girl? That the girl started weeping that the auntie said she should go for Kayai. She can afford, because she also has 6 siblings. And then so she can't afford taking care of her. So interrogating the girl, she said, I said, but who is your father? That my father passed. And your mother? My mother too passed when she was giving birth to my younger one.
So at what age is this? How many?
She was around 15, 16, because she has completed JSS. So I was sitting with my friend who has not given birth. So she started sharing tears. I said, why are you weeping? That God has sent this girl to you. Don't let her go to Kaya. So I have to take care of her. And she's not schooling. She's not in her last year in secondary school. So these are genuine issues. Because she could have been here and finally she will start begging. And then she'll be pregnant. And that ends her education.
I agree that some of these issues are genuine issues. Yeah. But some of these small children also, like you're saying, could be orphans.
Could be orphans.
But if orphans who are underage are finding themselves on the streets, doesn't it mean that our social welfare is not as active as it should be?
Yeah, I would agree with you at a point. So we need to resource the social welfare department. They need to be resourced. One, logistics. They may not even have lorries, cars to go around. If they have logistics, they have funds, I think they can also help in a way.
Personnel.
Yeah, and personnel. So we'll look at it, and then maybe government too should look at it, and then resource our social welfare departments, because when you go there, you can see that the resources, they still have challenge with resources. So, and I still emphasize, we, society, shouldn't be giving them money at that tender age. It's not good. Yeah, because if you start giving them money, like we are talking of armed robbery, at a point, if he doesn't get that money, he has to rob somebody. So society should look at it carefully. House abroad, who will give you that money? You can't even be on the street, not to talk of somebody giving you money. They will let them arrest you. If you go to America and they find a child at that age begging, they will arrest the boy. They have to arrest you and find out why are you there. Even adults. We went to New York, and then Masons. I just went, bought, and I was waiting for my colleagues. Standing by, we didn't know a security key. Why are you here? That's what I was waiting for. Go to the bus stop. Security checks is very important. So our security should look at it. There should be security checks along the streets. If you find it, if they are security, they won't come. I hope you understand.
I get you.
Yes, if there's a lot of security around checking on this, they won't come around. And even those who come to beg and go back, they won't come. So we should put some laws in place. You don't have to leave your country. Come and be begging. It's not good. It's not good. It's like a business venture they are doing. So we'll look at it, and then we'll definitely collaborate with Ministry of Interior to help us move these kids out of the street. Yeah, and then even the beggars themselves. I was telling somebody, one country that I visited, I think Abuja precisely, you don't see the beggars on the street. So I asked somebody, I said, why is that this country, I don't just see the beggars. I say, hey, the beggars have a place where they are. If you want to give their alms, you go there. Okay. But Fridays, they have to come and pray. So you see them around the mosque. Immediately after prayers, they go back to their camps. Can we do that? So we'll look at all this. Where at least don't send them far away where they'll be like they have been neglected. You just find a very comfortable way where at least those who to give the alms can get to them very easily. You understand? So that you can train them where if they are in a camp, you can train them. Some of them will leave the begging. Because if I'm like you are doing soap, if I bring you there to train most of the women, the young ones, how to do Lariba soup, they will definitely go back and then do the business. In their local areas. But some too have been in this business for long, so it's difficult for them to just say, I won't do it. So, but keep them at a place where those who give the alms, they should go there. If I want to give whatever sadaqah that I want to do, I know where to get them. If I'm looking for a blind man, I know there. If I'm looking for a cripple, I know there. If I'm looking for twins, I know where to get them. So they are off the street for their own safety. Because at times, in the Nima Market Square, it's terrible. I just look at them and say, no, it's very dangerous for their health too.
Some of these beggars are people who are disabled.
Yeah.
They are there because the society hasn't catered to them properly. They do not have enough access to education. They don't have access to social interventions. We've even had disabled people complain about COVID interventions. Sometimes we come out and we tell them, you should keep social distancing. the blind person doesn't know 6 feet social distancing. You have done a lot of work with disabled people also. How can we include them? You know, policies that are more inclusive of the disabled persons.
Thank you. We have policies already. Maybe we need more because we have the Disabled Act that is there. Then we even have they have their own resource center where they can go, and then but most of them are those who haven't been to school. Let me say that, put it that way. But those who have been educated, you see, and people don't know, if you are blind, you can educate yourself more faster, better than somebody who is a deaf, hearing impaired.
Why is that?
Because just that you can't see, but you can hear.
Okay.
You see, but I can see, but I can't hear. So I'm more limited than you who can see. We have a lot of, go to Akropong, School for the Blind. You see a lot of them. There, we even have Lawyer Koro. There's a lawyer called Lawyer Koro. He's a blind person, but he's a lawyer. He's a very astute lawyer. You know, we have so I know so many of them. When I was in university, most of them were my friends. I had a blind date who was a blind guy, Pizarro, but I learned his pass actually. Very good speaking guy, English, and he was one of the media in school.
And a lot of them also have other special abilities.
Oh yes, that we can tap in.
Have.
It doesn't mean that if you have if you're disabled, it should deter you from whatever you want to do. But just that it's an easy way of getting money. That's why they go on the street, and most of them actually, I would say, are those who lack a bit education, you know, and do another research again. Most of them too are coming from neighboring countries, especially those around the Nima areas. You know, they are coming from. I see, there's money. It's the way we give them money that encourage them to do that. You see, so instead of us giving them money, why can't we give them some trade? Why can't you train them? Gender is doing a lot for this. If they have even disabled day that they celebrate a lot. But when I get there, I'll partner my minister, because my minister is somebody who have the heart for the vulnerable people. I know her for sure. And I know she will do a lot of things for the disabled community when we get there.
Honorable, we'll take a short break here.
Thank you.
If you're watching us, we are here on Spotlight on MX24 television. We're speaking with Hajia 1 of
Walewale Constituency.
Member of Parliament for Walewale Constituency, also nominated for Deputy Minister for the Gender Children Protection Ministry. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Spotlight continues.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
For skin that's dull and dry, Vaseline Cocoa Glow with pure cocoa and shea butter, blended with micro droplets of Vaseline jelly, revealing glowing, radiant skin for glowing radiance.
Smiles are one of the most important things we have. Globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent with maximum cavity protection repairs tiny holes before they become cavities, because every smile matters.
Welcome back to Spotlight. My name is Nwong Falong. Before that break, we were speaking with Hajia Lariba Abudu, Hajia 1 of Walewale. She's a trained teacher. She's been assemblywoman for some 12 years, a very long path of service to the community. She's presently Member of Parliament for Walewale. And we are speaking to her about issues related to the gender ministry, to the vulnerable, to women, because she has also just been vetted as Deputy Minister for the Gender, Children and Social Protection Ministry. We're going to delve now into her constituency. Hajia, in 2015, you tried to become an MP. It didn't happen. Then you came back strong. How come this time when you came, you were able to unseat the previous Member of Parliament?
Thank you. I'm an assemblywoman for 12 years. That's
So you
3
know the
terms.
people.
Then I became the presiding member. It looked like we were leaving that one out. Then 2012, I stood for Walewale MP. Then myself and the then incumbent, he was first and I was second.
That was Dr. Bambangi.
That's Dr. Bambangi. He's my brother, actually. We're brother and sister.
You stood against your brother?
Oh sure. It's politics. So that one, I don't think is an issue, actually. So we are all going to save, and he has saved, and I'm coming to continue where he has left. So it's good. His own sister is there. So after 2012, the margin was 15 between me and him. So then 2012, 2016, I contested again. But that was at a point, Walewale was not for MPP. Dr. Bambangi made it an MPP
Strong.
seat because he won 2012. So 2016, at a point I realized that no, if I'm going to go the way I did in 2012, our front will have problem. And we are likely to lose the seat. I said, okay, hold on, you are a brother. You go, I will stay back and support you. And I did. So 2016, he went unopposed. And I supported seriously. And he won. So 2020,
You decided it was time.
a lot of people came on board.
Okay.
And then I said, no, okay, now that it looks like a lot of people have joined the race, so I can comfortably go. So I went, that was the 3rd time. And then God being so wonderful, I'm here. Yeah, so it's like you have also saved the people, and they are also trying to save you, so that's okay.
You made a promise that when you become...
And I was a deputy CEO for Northern Development Authority too, before I
So
went
this
for-
was something they knew you, the people, even at your
Oh,
vetting,
sure.
you had a lot of the people, the
Around.
opinion leaders there to support you.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so it's like I've lived with the people because assemblywoman, presiding member, deputy CEO, so I've lived with the people. Time immemorial, so they know me, and I was much
That was
involved.
what helped you to
Oh yeah,
win?
I was much involved in political activities, very highly involved. Woman organizer, I've helped patron for the women, you know, contributing, trying to mobilize. So many activities of the party. I was much involved. I was one of the. I was part of the manifesto of 2012 for MPP. I was by myself, Osla and Ko were on that committee.
Why did you choose the MPP when, you know, even when you started contesting, they were not the most popular choice within Walewale?
Yes. Normally, I go in for the downtrodden. Even if I'm watching football, those who are not winning, that's why. I don't know. I don't know why it is so. I go in for.
Do you support Arsenal?
Okay, I haven't put my mind into the European mind, but my mom support one team. Is it I don't know, one of them. Mommy support one that I would have gone with that, but I'm not much enthused into any European football. Yeah. Is it 92 Senegal where Abudu Pele was removed? I nearly died. I couldn't sleep. As if I've done something that people, the following day, people were going to. It was a shame, you know.
You were distressed.
So that was the day I said, no, I have to let this thing go. Otherwise,
No.
If I was in love with Abudu Pele so much that when that thing happened, it affected me so much, you know. So I said no.
Was it an easy race? Winning, campaigning, it involves a lot of money also.
Yes. anybody who goes into election, it's not an easy race because you are competing with seasoned people. Especially men, you know, they can go far. You may not be able to go, you know, but know a lot of people. It's about connection, who you know. You should know. You know. Me, in particular, I have a lot of friends, you know, but served the party for quite a long time. As Aduboy, when he was doing his campaign, we were the girls for Aduboy. You know, people, it's only in Accra where the media hypes that they see certain people. But down there are a lot of people who are big politicians, but people don't see them because they are not in Accra.
The spotlight is not.
Yes. Today, if you go to Walewale, if they give birth to a baby today, he knows Hajia. The children even know me more than the grown-ups. Anywhere we go, Hajia. You see, they know me. And that's how people know you. Especially when children are in love with you, it springs so much. So every woman have to go a lot of troubles before you can win elections. The name calling is one, like the witch thing. And a lot of women, they see you to be a witch. Because if you are not a witch, you can, because you have to go day and night. You see, travel throughout the night. At times you can travel throughout the whole night. You see, so you have to spend money, especially if the men are spending. Finance, a lot of my funding came from friends and loved ones, and people even supported me, gave me funds that they didn't know me. Somebody sent me some t-shirts and some used clothing that up to date. I don't know him, but he said he saw my campaign on Facebook. He was following me on Facebook, and he was happy the way I was going about the campaign. I wasn't vindictive, I wasn't insulting. And he is not a politician, but he was in love with the way I was doing the campaign. And he gave me money. Yeah. And up to date, I don't know him. You see, so he sent the thing by state STC. And he gave me a WhatsApp that you don't know me, I don't know you, but I'm following you on Facebook. And I'm happy with the way you are doing it. And so I'm supporting you. This is with state bus coming. And actually went, my children will say, oh, this is come, he's lying. We went and actually the things were there. And up to date, I'm still looking for the person. So people support you when they're in love with your campaign, you don't know them. Even outside, a lot of people mobilize some used clothing, they mobilize things and send it to me that I don't know them. They are a branch of MPP there. I don't know them. So that's how people fund politics.
Campaigns.
And then all is not about money. Too, you can't buy everybody with money. There were some comments you even going, oh, as they don't come here for you, don't come here again. We are okay, and then it works. Yeah, so that's how it is.
The people in your constituency, there are a lot of girls. We know we have free education, but they're not all in school.
Yes.
Young girls, they get married very early. Some of them are pregnant. There's pervasive poverty, and when we have this cycle, it just continues. What are we doing with the young women in Walewale?
Thank you. It's a big problem, you know. And then I need, or my ministry need to intensify more education, sensitization, and role models. I'm here. A lot of the young girls are very excited because 2020 we saw a lot of young women forming groups, Fataya ladies, Hajia 1 ladies, girls for a lot of groups. That was I was so much in love with that. That young girls would come together and form groups, and they were printing their own t-shirts, they were contributing, doing things. So it has started. Because it was like a woman can also become an MP in my area. But I've been able to, yes. So I know a lot of them will follow suit. So we need more of that. If I leave and there's another woman, and it's more, I've been telling her, it's education. Even though you can go to, it doesn't mean that if you are not educated, you can't go to Parliament. You can, but it look like tri-memorial is education. So if you want to be there, you have to educate yourself.
Are you grooming any of the young girls
in
politics?
I am. I am. A lot of them, I'm actually encouraging them to go into politics. It doesn't matter. Those who try the assemble elections and failed. I said, don't stop there. Next one, go again. You know, keep going. One day you'll be there. We say, let's give it to Lariba to and have our peace. You see, so we need to educate a lot of girls, because free education, actually, girls should be in school. But the numbers are encouraging than before. Now, a lot of girls are in school because of the free education. Most of it was the money. Parents couldn't pay, especially if they have 2, 3 in school, and then 2 are boys and 1 is girl. They feel like, let's drop the girls. She eventually will marry, but maybe this will help the family. So now the awareness is there. You see, and a gentleman told me that, Hajia, looking at you, if I even give birth to 10 girls, I'll be happy, because what you can do, men can also do that. So I'll be happy even if I give men. Yeah. So you see that now he has come to terms that a girl too can grow up to a certain level that you want her to be. So it will come. I know it's not only my constituency. A lot of constituencies have the same challenge.
Even in your constituency, not just the young women. Let's look at the young men.
Yes.
There's unemployment.
Yes.
Now we have a new threat. I don't know if you know that there's been a security alert for Bolgatanga and Tamale, because there are some bandits from Burkina who have crossed in. The fear is that these people will recruit young men
ones
who are unemployed. Before we know, they'll join them in all these terrorist activities. How do we productively engage these young people with all their youthful energy and channel it into something that benefits the country?
Thank you. I'm happy that this Minister for Education is looking at education in different perspectives. We need to introduce more skill training in our schools. You know, the social studies was taking care of farm, agric. When I was in school, we were doing agric farming. We were going to farm ourselves, and we're doing agric farming. You see, let's see how we can bring back some of these things. Somebody can be a farmer at the end of, maybe that's his calling from God, but because he doesn't have that experience, so he feel like farming is for someone who hasn't been to school. You know, so let's introduce some skill training in our schools. Where there are some people, they don't even want education. We have children that we call hyper. They can't sit at one place. You know, he's an activity-based person. So always he wants to be doing activity. So if they are in class, at times, the teacher, if you don't have patience, you may think that they are stubborn children, but that's their nature. You know, we call them hyperactive children. So they jump from table to table. And so such child needs skills. You know, with small book knowledge and skill, he will be on his own. Because some of them do a lot of gadgets on their own. So let's see how education can draw some of these things. And then we need to intensify teaching and learning materials. If I see, I learn better. I copy. You see, like if I'm teaching about flowers, this is a flower, and you don't put the flower in front of me and tell me to draw a flower. How do I draw a very good flower? So let's intensify teaching. The time I was teaching,
proactive teaching.
Yeah, proactive. We were using teaching and learning materials a lot. It makes your work very easy. It makes the children understand very easy. You see, and now with computer age that we are, we can use, if education is able to give a lot of computers to the schools, it's very easy to teach. Teachers can use the computer and then to teach a lot of visual art teaching. So let's intensify education. And then, like during my vetting, what was I going to do to open the Northeast up? It was a question that they asked. And I said, we have a very vast land, arable land, green land, you know. So what do we do? Let's get investors who will come and then try to invest. Very soon we are opening the watermelon factory. It's going to employ people. We have a rice factory land. It's employing people. So if we get a lot of investors to do activities like farming, whatnot, a lot of youth would definitely get jobs to do. It's about getting job. Most of the kaya here, the girls in particular, what they buy, plastics, you know. So if she can get the money back home and we have the milk on and everything, she won't come here. Because in the 80s, I did something we call by day. After when we were on holidays, we go to farms. There were a farm in Janga that we call the natural rice farms, where we go and do by day. You go and then remove the wheat, and you are being paid weekly. Then during harvesting, you go, they combine with harvest, then you hold the bag, then it will pour the rice, and you are being paid. So there was no way I would come here for car, and that was what I was using paying my school fees too.
What was the Development Authority in the North? You were there as deputy. Were they engaged in some of these activities that occupy?
Yes, you know, Northern Development Authority was being set up in 2017. So there were teething problems as at that when I was there. So, but I know they were engaging a lot of investors to come down. And then they have lands. Northern Development Authority have lands that they have acquired by their own. And then they were now looking for investors who will come to open up the place for a lot of, and they will get there, definitely. Now that they are removing the teething problems, they will definitely get a lot of investors to come, and then young boys and girls will get job doing.
Hajia, before you became Member of Parliament, you made a promise.
That?
Should I remind you?
Yeah, I do.
You made a promise that you will open an office.
In Walewale?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you opened the office?
Yeah, sure. I'm in the process. I've acquired the office now. So there
Which part of Walewale is the office?
Just entering the new market circle. Opposite, there's a house we call Alhaji Labaram's house. Okay. One of our hard-working party member, Razak, who is my son, has given me a very big store, which I will use to, I will partition and then work on it and use it as my office. So I will do that. Certainly, I will do that. We are in the process. We have now acquired the shop and then an office, actually. So we'll work on it. There are a lot of things I have to work on it. So,
Hajia, before we let you go, we've had issues with exam malpractices where WAEC is concerned. You're a trained teacher. Recently, there was a report by Ghana Education Watch, and they made a lot of interesting suggestions to curb these malpractices, because they claim there's a lot of leakage, especially in the 2020 WAEC exams. They said there were so many leakages and malpractices, some of them even with the names of invigilators and teachers. They said in 2020 there was unprecedented leakage of names and contacts of examiners and even questions for all but 2 subjects. So all the subjects were compromised except 2, according to Africa Education Watch. They gave some suggestions. One of them, they said, divorce the GES from the Ministry of Education. The GES and the Ministry of Education from the WAEC's governing committee. Another one, they said, engage external consultants to speed up investigations into alleged malpractices. Do you think these suggestions will help to curb exam malpractices?
Thank you. It will help. Why not? Because in every organization, you need to have new innovative to try to solve challenges that you have. So it will, but WAEC is not only in Ghana, it's in other neighboring countries. So who knows where the leakages are coming from? So WAEC has to sit with all those countries involved and get a lasting solution to it. Ghana alone can do it. If you tighten your belt, there's somebody's belt is loose, and so definitely it will come back to affect your country too. So I agree. Well, but I don't, the research that they did, I don't know how they went about it, who they asked and all those things. But, well, GES definitely, I know, will take the matter up and see what they will do.
Honorable, we've had quite an engaging conversation. The people in Walewale, they are listening to you. What is your parting message to them?
Then I'll speak.
Please go ahead.
My language. That's why Walewale constituency mpureza po abane bisi dapa ninkura po asara all the girls mpureza ne tuma na andi anso gupam wo alinyala tensha sofu ngombe kane nyala kaman nkudisia vi yantum makpana ma nyala ngwa yantum ke ne tege dunia mana suguru kunyaka so kanza pass suguru ina boruzuna kabanya nyim pass suguru bio igbadine ne chana de zo ye chakatin suguru kan nan gban yini martaba kadin galala chana ko din galala chana chaka tukutaba marnan gban yini kadin galala ma chana ka so kamza pai de zo kon kuyanza la pa ka pusiya zane tuma na ndi ansogo ye ku burma ye de jige yaku yelman yera burma la pa nyela ngoyen chena yen tumma na so ye ku tumma kala ye ku tumbiya ku changanti yurade toki ibu su yela nya boncha katawum so ye ku bole ne chena dembiya na za kanzantiya de zo pusiya pa mo wal po abza na ndi ansogo janga po aba pargo shimvoya pargo zonza pasente zone Wurugu zone, Walewale ne katankpansi za Wungu zone, yaza pure Tunguri zone, Wurugu everywhere yaza kampurma. So nangya salamu alaikum na chakatinya tabna alafia.
And that's all we have from Hajia 1 of Walewale Constituency. To you at home, thank you for sitting with us through 1 hour of your evening. We appreciate your time. And we intend to keep our conversations here on Spotlight very relevant. My name is Nwang Falong. Do join us same time, 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, right here on MX24 Television.